Hey guys, the one and only Rendrag Selak here. I am in Exeter, Rhode Island, visiting some of the veterans here amongst Mercy. I brought family members, friend to come visit her family member who she's related to. She's never been here, so I brought her down to say hi to her. Now, why am I doing this conversation with you guys now? I think it's time, and what a better place to do it than amongst these veterans inside this cemetery. Folks that gave all, fought for this country and your rights. Right now, there are a lot of people trying to take said rights from you. There are a lot of people fighting over stupid things. Their way of life, the stuff that our forefathers granted them, the way of happiness, pursuit of happiness. And we find fault in some of this stuff and what these folks are doing, and it's not our places to do that. On the other side, too, they find fault in people that don't understand what's going on. They may not be racist. They may not be into what you're doing, but you find fault in that, and you're slandering them. Hatred is fed on both sides of this fence right now. It needs to stop, guys. We need to pull together as Americans. Take a walk through one of these cemeteries. Read some of these markers. Some of these young lads that never came home that were out fighting for your rights to be happy, for your rights to have freedom of speech, for the rights to bear arms in case an oppressive government tries to take you over, which we are on the urge of that happening. And I'm not trying to be a doomsday guy. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy nut guy. The writing is on the wall. If you are a historian and you look at certain things that went down prior to even the Civil War, and it took a while for that to spark, but when it did, trust me, we don't want to go back to that situation, especially now. The numbers games would be even higher than when it was during the American Civil War. There won't be fields. There won't be safe grounds. Technology has evolved to the point where the casualties will be high. And then on top of it, we have a world war brewing in our midst. And we're worried about silly, petty things. And instead of trying to stop this from acting and going through, we're ignoring it. You change the channel on situations like this. You take the stuff down. And it's not just us, it's media doing it. It's trying to cover this up. And this is no joke. The Russians have warned us and said that we're very close to returning to a Cold War type situation. And this battle between us and the Russians has been escalating since World War II. It slowed down for a little bit, but it's just popping back up. We get into a full-on world war with any of these nations right now, China, Russia, even combined with Iran and Korea. If you think it's bad now, and you're complaining now what's going on, try to think what's going to happen if we go into a world war. Let's go back into history a little bit, the horrors of history, and let me tell you some of the things that you take for granted that will no longer be there. Your access to fresh food like meats and produce, that'll go to the soldiers. Your access to certain materials like wood, metal, that'll go to the soldiers too. And whatever's over here will be at a price right which you cannot afford. As far as being on the system, there won't be anybody on the system. You won't be able to do that. You will be put to work in factories and stuff to support the government's war actions. You have to be a real good reason not to be on that. And trust me, there's not going to be too many. The hounds of hell, they're talking to me. They want to eat me. So trust me on this. And the other thing that we are going to lose, and we're going to lose a lot of them, this valuable resources, are young men and women. We will lose generations of people. And you think even those guys that are in high school now, it's not going to be over by the time that happens. They're going to get drafted. And all this silliness that you guys are fighting over, not going to mean a damn thing. You need to unite together and stop this. Our differences is what makes us good. Keep that in mind. It's we the people, not we the government.